It was March of my junior year, and Professor Whitmore had a reputation. He was the kind of professor who used the word quantitatively in everyday conversation and made you feel stupid for breathing wrong during his lectures. One day he made this huge claim about how students who take notes by hand perform better than those who type. I knew this wasn't entirely true because I had literally just read 3 studies saying the opposite. I raised my hand and pointed this out politely. He looked at me over his glasses, smiled this weird little smile, and said, "In this class, any source is valid as long as you cite it properly. The quality of your argument is what matters." He said it like he was handing out a gift. He had no idea what he had just given me. I spent that whole weekend thinking about sources. What qualifies as a source? He never said peer-reviewed papers only. He never mentioned credible publications. He just said, "Cite it properly." So I made a list. Wikipedia. A Reddit thread. My roommate's opinion on the subject, which I taped recorded with his permission. A fortune cookie I found in a Chinese restaurant. And then I found his old lecture notes from 2 years ago online, where he had basically contradicted everything he was saying now. I cited every single one of them in the exact citation format he had made us memorize on day 1. I turned in the paper on a Monday. It was titled something like "The Efficacy of Note-Taking Methods, a Comprehensive Analysis," and it argued that typing was actually superior for long-term retention. My bibliography was 4 pages long. The first entry was the fortune cookie. The second was a Tumblr post from 2019. The third was my roommate Marcus Chen, cited as Chen Marcus. Personal interview. March 3rd. And scattered throughout were exact quotes from Professor Whitmore's own archived lectures where he had said the exact opposite of what he was now teaching. I formatted every single citation perfectly according to the style guide. Every period was in the right place. Every hanging indent was flawless. Professor Whitmore handed back papers the next Friday. He placed mine on my desk without looking at me, which was unusual. I looked at the grade first. B+. Not bad. Then I read his comments. Interesting argument. Strong structure, and at the bottom in red ink, citation format is technically correct, but this is not an acceptable academic source. Please see me after class. I went to his office hours the next day. I brought the citation style guide he had given us on the first day. I showed him exactly where Wikipedia was an acceptable source according to the examples. I showed him where interviews were listed. I played him the recording of my roommate. I pulled up his own lecture from 2022 where he had directly contradicted his current claim. I asked him which citation rule I had violated. He just stared at me for a very long time. Finally he said, "This is technically valid but in poor taste." He changed my grade to an A-. I walked out of his office smiling like I had just won the lottery.